What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I am on my own, so unfortunately coverage isn't going to be great, but what I'm going to try and do today is sort this starting issue out. If you watched my last video, you'll know that obviously I've got a starting issue. Wasn't sure what it was. Yesterday the car finally decided to throw an engine management light. Managed to get a code from it, and it was the cylinder 1 injector harness. Basically, it's got a current problem. Common fault on the PD engines by all accounts.
I give you my heart.
One possible fix is to take them out, disconnect them, take the like plastic cover off of the actual clips itself, clean them up, squeeze the terminals together because they come loose, and that seems to solve the issue. So I'm going to attempt to do that today. Only negative side to what I'm doing now is I don't have a new gasket, but I do rely on the car. I do need the car, and I don't want to risk damaging the engine because it's not getting the fuel it needs. So if it means I've got a slight oil leak until I get my new gasket, so be it. I'd rather it was running properly, and hopefully it will sort the starting issue out, and that'll be the end of the issues. As far as running and starting go, I've had the airbag light switched out, so that's the second issue sorted. Once that's all sorted, obviously I can then look at starting to play with the car a little bit. So yeah, as I was saying, the airbag light is now gone, so that's a nice bonus. When I start the engine, I don't have any engine management lights, which is very nice. I wrapped this the other day. There are a few bits of crap in it. Just need to get, well, it's just air bubbles. I need to get a pin and pop it. Done a few bits, wrapped a few bits the other day for Aaron. Got back into the flow of wrapping stuff, so yeah, it wasn't something I do regularly. Obviously this here I've also done. This was grey leather, as was the gear knob itself, hence why I've got this one out of the Mini in here for the minute. Doesn't really suit the car, so it won't be staying, but it was better than the grey leather thing. It just looked horrible, as did the steering wheel. So obviously changed that, which is what caused the airbag light to come on. Now this here was actually made for a Mark III Golf, so I had to do a bit of custom fitting on that one. Saw the original shrouding underneath, but obviously it didn't fit as the old one did. So yeah, let me know what you think of the carbon. I may just go gloss black, or I may even go flat black like all this. So obviously it's a soft touch paint, so I might just rub it all back, give it all a coat of Plasti Dip, so it's got the same sort of texture to it. Just make it look more original and a bit more tidier. So I'm going to stop yammering. There are other videos on YouTube that have sort of gone over this process. Obviously I will go over it briefly. It's pretty straightforward. The main thing is obviously make sure nothing gets in your engine bay, or like inside your actual engine. Don't break any clips, because if you break clips you're in a worse position than you were before you started. And just take your time, really. Like I said, the main issue I can see coming from this at this point in time is obviously the fact that I don't have a new gasket yet. But I mean, let's be honest, how long is it going to take the cover off and put a new gasket on? Right then, guys, so skip ahead a little bit. Obviously the first thing you want to do is remove your valve cover. Pretty straightforward. Remove the breather hose, take the belt cover off, and then undo all your bolts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in total. Once you get that off, obviously this is what you should be looking at. Obviously it's the first time I've been in here, and I will say, considering this is on 162,000 miles, it actually looks good in here. Now it does look like my current gasket has potentially been leaking anyway. You can probably see all the oil that's been seeping out the side there, so I will clean that off anyway. Now basically the video I've watched, what you're looking for, and this isn't even clipped in properly, which is probably not a good sign. These little metal tabs here are meant to clip into place by all accounts, like that. So that's now clipped in properly. So this looks like it's possibly been changed at some point in its life, but if you, I don't know why you can see that, if it's going to focus with my hand there or not, but if you can see, there's quite a bit of movement in each and every one of these, and obviously that's causing it to have a bad connection. Now the other issue is because they're inside the engine itself, obviously they're pretty much sat in oil all the time, so you can see the oil in the top of the plug there. So the next task is to unplug these one at a time. Now from what I've seen, they do unplug fairly easy. They may just need a little bit of persuasion. There is a clip at the bottom, like a little window. If you've got a hook tool, use that, and that should lift it up, but it can be done from the top. So I will try and get one off now, and then I will show you what to do next. So once you get to this point, see I've got the plug off, this little tab here, if you get a screwdriver under it very carefully, you can pry it off. Obviously make note of which way around these wires go. So obviously I've got the orange on the firewall side, and I think that's a grey on this side. So from what I've seen, I may have to come back to you after I've got this out. Tilt that forward. I'm going to come back to you once I've got that, so I'm going to drop that in the engine. Right, so basically once you've got the cover off, what you want to do is squeeze the terminals together so they've got a nice tight fitting like that, and then obviously if you want to be sure that it's tight enough, just put it back on. I mean, that's already given me resistance trying to get it back on, so I know that once I put that back together and put it back on, it's going to be tight. And then we'll move on to this one. We're doing one at a time rather than taking them all off and getting confused. But you'll see the difference between how loose that one is, or that one, be easier for you to see, compared to this one when I put it back in. So obviously while you're there, just give this a good clean, ready for your new gasket. Obviously, like I said, I don't have one at the moment, but it's better to put it on with a clean surface to try and get a better seal until my gasket turns up. So I'll get on with that. Right guys, so remember I was saying when you take those clips off to be really careful because they're really easy to break. Well, I broke one. Luckily I did manage to fish it out. Also, while I'm remembering, I forgot to do this with this one, hence why this isn't in there, and I will be ordering a new loom if this is the, well, I'll have to do now anyway. On the back of these tabs, it's a little metal pin which locks it into the back of this, so even without that clip, although that ideally needs to be there, it should still stay in the holder and lock in. Now if you can see that, that's why they're loose. You see the size of the opening there. Obviously the pin isn't that big, they're both the same. Now if you remember the other ones when I showed you them, when I closed them down, it's basically all you're doing on all four cylinders and then putting it back together. But I can't stress enough, especially now, just be really careful with them clips. They're not very forgiving. I found the easiest way to get these out is if you bend that over on itself, get a pair of grips, tilt the cover forward and just tug up a little bit and wiggle the clip. It will pop out, but that does bend back, so you do need to Might be showing you the bloody thing. Yeah, give it a wiggle. Pull that towards you with a pair of pliers with that wire bent over basically. That little clip I was just showing you, that little tab, will fold over on itself, so you do need to bend it back, otherwise it won't lock back into the clip. It took me 5 minutes to realise what I'd done wrong, so just a little tip for you there. Right guys, so it is the next day. Unfortunately, after all the work I put into trying to fix the loom that was in there, it didn't cure the problem. Took the readings from the injectors, and cylinder 1 is minus 2.35. Cylinders 2 and 3 are as you would expect, and cylinder 4 is quite low as well. So I'm going to have to order a new harness. Not really an expense I wanted at the moment, but if it gets the car fixed, that's all good. I did, however, manage to do the EGR delete. I didn't record it because obviously I kind of covered it last time. That's now on. All the vacuums that were on that have been bunged up. The car pulls a lot better, even with it not fueling on cylinder 1. It has some acceleration now. There's no sort of like flat spot when you first touch the accelerator. Car's idling smoother. No, I knew the EGR valve was buggered. I said it was leaking. So that's made a hell of a difference. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully the next video I do will be installing the new loom. From what I've been told, it's not the hardest job in the world, but because obviously in the Audi the engine is sort of lengthways rather than sideways, the loom comes out the back by the firewall, so it's a bit of a squeeze. Have to be extra careful because apparently the old one tends to snap as you pull it out. And obviously I don't want bits of plastic falling down in the engine, so I have to be careful with that. Obviously if you want me to cover that and do a proper video showing step by step, leave a comment below. Let me know. If people want to see it, then I'll record it. If not, I'll just do like a sort of step-by-step sort of thing like I've done on this video. So I'll tell you what to do, I'll do it, move on to the next step, then tell you what to do, and so on and so forth. So yeah, other than that about covers this video. So again, thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to like, comment and consider subscribing. You know, these things all help the channel grow. There are quite a few people out there that watch the videos that aren't subscribed, so I mean, if you're coming back to watch them, you may as well click the subscribe button. I mean, you don't have to watch every video, but if you're subscribed, you'll know when a video comes up, so you don't miss out on any. And obviously, like I said, it helps the channel grow. It helps us to be able to make better content, and it lets us know that people are actually interested in the stuff we're doing, and it kind of gives us a drive to want to keep doing it. So with that said, cheers for watching. Till next time, take care.